Over the past few years, we've explored the heartbreaking lives of some of China's most famous stars, their struggles, scandals, and tragedies that shaped who they are. Here is a compilation of their stories.
When Ma Tianyu was 5, his mother, overwhelmed by family pressures, ended her life. She asked him to buy sleeping pills and keep the change for chocolate. Reflecting on this, Tianyu said, "If I hadn't craved that chocolate, maybe I wouldn't be orphaned now." His father left due to mounting debts. Tianyu and his sisters were raised by their grandparents, who did their best despite their difficult circumstances. They also had a younger brother, but he was kidnapped by debt collectors and never seen again. Money was tight, so Tianyu's older sister sacrificed her own education to allow him to attend school. But even then, they couldn't afford the 3 renminbi in school fees, and Tianyu had to drop out. He ended up doing various manual labor jobs, from working on a farm to digging sewer ditches. At 16, Tianyu moved to Beijing with his uncle, carrying just 70 cents. He helped sell food products and worked in bars. One day, a customer suggested he try out for My Hero, a now-defunct national male talent show. That advice changed his life, leading him to the success he enjoys today. Jing Boran's parents struggled with their relationship. They were just kids themselves and constantly fought. His father had a gambling problem, and his mother was unhappy. When Jing was born, things worsened. "My arrival was not a joyous occasion for them," Jing recalled. "They felt I was just another problem to deal with." At just 28 days old, Jing's mother abandoned him, leaving him in the care of his grandparents. His father, still hooked on gambling, was absent. Jing shared a painful memory. "When I went to my father for help, he just said, 'Get out, you're a burden.'" That rejection was devastating. Despite the hardship, Jing's grandparents took him in and did everything they could to provide for him, picking up scraps to make ends meet. "They never complained," Jing said. "I saw them struggling, but they never made me feel like a burden." Even as a child, Jing noticed his parents' absence during school events. "I remember other kids saying, 'Jing's a wild child without parents,'" he said. "It hurt to hear that, but I never let it show." Jing recalled a brief moment with his mother. "I was thrilled to see her. She hugged me, and I thought everything would be okay. But the next morning, she was gone again. It felt like she had never been there." Jing worked part-time jobs to support his family. When his grandmother was hospitalized, his father refused to help. Despite this, Jing stayed determined and kept working hard. His persistence paid off when he got into the Academy of Art. Jing's big break came when he attended a dinner party he usually avoided. "That's where I met the director who changed my life," he said. His talent and looks won him the national championship on Come On, Good Man, launching his career. In the Chinese documentary My Legacy, Shu Qi shared her troubled childhood and admitted to being a rebellious teenager. She revealed that her parents often beat her, so she learned to be observant of their moods from a young age to avoid being yelled at or beaten. "Whenever I heard the sound of my father's motorcycle coming home, I'd run as far away as I could to hide, even if it was in the middle of the night," she recalled. At 15 or 16, she decided to run away from home. Lacking enough money for rent, she borrowed 5,000 Taiwan dollars from her mother. Reflecting on a painful childhood memory, she shared, "Once, after getting into a car accident while playing, I was completely injured. Instead of receiving comfort, my mother scolded me." Feeling unloved and misunderstood at home, Shu Qi often ran away, seeking distance and freedom. She told herself, "Run as far as you can, and hide in the middle of the night." She ran away from home no less than 10 times, driven by a desire to escape the emotional neglect. In 1992, 16-year-old Shu Qi returned home and noticed her mother's hair had turned white from worry. Feeling guilty, she decided to drop out of school and work to support her family. Despite a tough start, Shu Qi earned critical acclaim and won numerous awards for her performances. Chen Kun had a strained relationship with his father, who divorced his mother and remarried, bringing in a new stepmother and stepbrother. One of Chen Kun's few warm memories of his father is when he offered him a bowl of cherries at his grandmother's house. When Chen Kun was 6, he went to his father's house during the Spring Festival, hoping to get some New Year's Eve money. "Where would we get the money for you?" His stepmother harshly replied, and his father didn't defend him. Instead, he was scolded and kicked out. This experience made Chen Kun feel rejected and unloved. Later, Chen Kun and his younger brother were left with their grandmother until he was 11. His mother then remarried, and their new family of 5 lived in a cramped 13-square-meter house, struggling to make ends meet. Despite the hardships, Chen Kun's stepfather treated him well, giving him small amounts of New Year's money, which Chen Kun used to help with tuition. During school, Chen Kun faced bullying from his stepbrother, which further alienated him from his biological father. This tough experience forced him to mature quickly, and he began working part-time at 16 to support his family. He took on various jobs, from typist to waiter and singer. In 1993, Chen Kun won an Excellence Award at the Rising Stars competition, leading his mother to arrange singing lessons for him, supported by his stepfather, who gave him 500 yuan and said, "You are not my biological son, but emotionally, you are my son." He moved to Beijing. Chen Kun joined the Beijing Song and Dance Troupe, then the Beijing Film Academy. His role in Like Fog Like Rain and Like Wind earned him 90,000 yuan and kicked off his career. Jet Li's father died when he was 2, leaving his mother to support him and his 4 siblings on a meager salary of 41 yuan a month, along with their grandparents. He and his brothers slept in the same bed, and he wore hand-me-down clothes from his siblings, even his sister's old clothes. At the age of 8, Jet Li began his journey into martial arts. This path wasn't easy. He faced rigorous training and had to practice for up to 8 hours a day. The training was so intense that it often led to injuries, but Jet Li's determination and resilience kept him going. He endured physical pain, including strained muscles and even fractured bones, without letting it hinder his progress. His impressive physical abilities caught the attention of a martial arts coach who cast him in Shaolin Temple at just 17 years old. The movie sold an estimated 500 million tickets at the Chinese box office, and is estimated to be China's highest-grossing film ever when adjusted for inflation. The film's success established Jet Li as the first mainland Chinese star of Hong Kong, and later Hollywood. We were first introduced to singer and actor Huang Zitao when he debuted with South Korean pop group EXO. Through the years he's had quite the journey and there have been plenty of ups and downs. Watch on to discover the tragic truth about Huang Zitao. He almost died. I was very mischievous as a kid. When I was 7 years old, I insisted on racing an uncle. He said no, but I didn't care and started running. In the end I fell to the ground, and the back of my head hit on a sharp edge. There was no bleeding, but you can see bruises. At about 12 midnight, I suddenly started vomiting, and so my parents sent me to the hospital. Afterwards my doctor said that the injury on my head had began to put pressure on the nerves, and if they had come 2 to 3 minutes later, I would have died or become a vegetable. Even though his head hurt, Huang Zitao was still smiling when he went on the operation table. And then he fell asleep. He had craniotomy done, got dozens of stitches, and till now, there's still a scar on the back of his head. That is not the only time he was hospitalized. Huang Zitao also had high fever when he was just 9 days old, and had to stay a total of 15 days in the hospital. And towards the end of 2016, he suddenly fainted at the airport. That rigorous and relentless schedule had taken its toll on his health. His late father went to the extent of getting a doctor's certification. When my child was 1, he had a high fever at night. With no one at the hospital, I vowed to learn medicine. Apart from checkups, I avoided hospitals. It took 5 years to become a certified doctor. Now, I'm the one prescribing medicine for my child, he shared. Growing up poor. Despite Zitao's billionaire father being the 7th richest man in Qingdao, Zitao grew up believing his family was poor. His father admits to buying him second-hand clothes and telling him they were poor. In first grade, while his peers seemed to accumulate wealth, he received only 1 renminbi per week. When he questioned his father about this, he was told simply that others were well off, but they were not. Despite living in a big house, his father told him they were renting it. Zitao says, "I remember when I was just 16, I had to distribute leaflets because my parents didn't give me any pocket money. I did it even when it was raining heavily, without an umbrella. When I finally received my first salary of 1,600 renminbi, I was ecstatic. I also worked as a waiter in a restaurant, where I often faced criticism from customers. Despite all this, I chose to live in a dormitory, not because I didn't have a home, but because I wanted to learn to endure hardships. It was a 5-minute walk from my house, but I knew it would toughen me up." His father recalls watching him work. "There were a lot of people knocking off at 10 at the malls. I parked my car there every night, looking at him handing out flyers, standing on the road, asking if people wanted to learn English. I never exposed him. I waited in the car. He took the public bus back. I never drove him back. Since that was his choice, I would let him go through with it." The hard life of a trainee. Zitao had always wanted to be a star, and to support him, his father enrolled him in music lessons. After participating in an SBS contest, he excitedly informed his father of SM Entertainment's interest in him. Although his father cautioned him about the rigorous training there, he remained determined. His father took him to South Korea to observe, and within 3 days, he eagerly signed the contract, unfazed by the decade-long commitment. Zitao trained rigorously for 7 months and 7 days, mastering dance, singing, Korean, English, and martial arts as a member of K-pop group EXO. While other trainees had shorter hours, he worked from 8 a.m. to 2 a.m., surviving on just 6 hours of sleep. Each night at 2 a.m., he'd update his father on his progress. His father sent over 1 billion won to him so he would take care of himself and live comfortably, losing out on the K-pop dream. However, after just 3 years with the company, pictures of his injured feet went viral online. His father promptly flew to South Korea to collect him and posted an emotional letter on Weibo. In the posts he said, "Huang Zitao has never disappointed us. In making it this far, he has always been the pride of our family. But what has given me pause is, in these 3 years since his debut, he has gotten all sorts of injuries, large and small. Back pains, body pains, leg pains, to the point that during each performance, whether I am physically there or at home, if he does a flip, I will be worried to no end, nervous that his old injuries will only worsen. Despite my warnings, he insists on pushing himself, driven by a desire not to disappoint. But each time, I'm left heartbroken as I learn of yet another injury. I can't bear to see him suffer any longer. While others may envy our seemingly perfect family and his idol status, they can't comprehend the sleepless nights spent worrying about him. I've decided to prioritize his health above all else and bring him home for proper treatment. Nothing matters more to me than his well-being. Please understand that as a father, this is a necessary step. I'm sorry." After his return to China, his father Huang Zitao helped him open his own studio. Being an idol. Even after leaving the grueling world of K-pop, his schedule was still difficult to manage. He went on to Weibo to share what was on his mind. "So tired and so frustrated that I can't breathe. The crew still has to return for filming and I'm scared to take leave, don't want to have everyone waiting for me. Still have to practice dance, scared that the next dance won't turn out well. The truth is, if I'm being honest, I don't want to do anything anymore at this moment. Can't make it back to the annual company event, haven't gone home, haven't celebrated any holiday, I don't even know what day it is anymore. The pressure is really getting to me. In this moment, I can't breathe anymore. I really want to disappear for some time, thinking about nothing and doing nothing. It has been 6 years, this is the first time I'm saying such things. I know there are definitely people who will say that you are a celebrity and this is what you must bear. Don't want to do anything anymore, the pressure from being unable to breathe is too painful. During this time, from my perspective, I really feel that my life is no different from living in hell. I am not as happy as you think I am. Don't say I'm a hypocrite, actually really tried to be strong. But during these times, I am really so tired emotionally and physically, and it has caused me much stress. Sorry for worrying you and even more sorry to myself." Luckily he got over the funk and carried on. Losing his father. Huang Zitao's father passed away in 2020 at the age of 52. A few months after his passing, Zitao was brought to tears on an episode of the reality show The Detective's Adventures. Zitao revealed that he didn't know about his father's sickness at first and feels regretful that he wasn't able to be more attentive towards his parents. He said, "I was filming a show, my dad had found out he's been sick for a year, he didn't tell my mom and didn't tell me. I called my dad on the phone and asked why he's not picking up. I called for 2 weeks saying, 'Dad, why aren't you picking up the phone?' My dad was already in the hospital and enduring. He said, 'I'm fine.' He said, 'Dad's fine, Dad's very well.' Before my dad passed, he already had cerebral embolism. I didn't even have the chance to talk to him for the last time. On the phone, he said, 'Son, Dad is fine, I prepared everything for you, don't worry about me, film the show well.' My mom never told me this either." Since the two were very close, he has never gotten over the loss.
Zhang Zhehan is a Chinese actor who was born on May 11, 1991, in Jianci, China. He attended the Shanghai Theatre Academy and made his acting debut in the romance-themed drama series Why I Love You in 2010, following up with his movie debut in the 2011 film release Anisher Henmei. He appeared in the movie The Bravest in 2019, as well as the drama title Everyone Wants to Meet You in 2020. However, Zhang has had to deal with more than his share of heartbreak and quite a few challenges, many of which he's spoken about candidly. These are the tragic details about Zhang Zhehan. An unattainable dream? His mother initially opposed Zhang's desire to pursue an artistic career due to the challenges and negative influences in the entertainment industry. Undeterred, Zhang ran away from home for a week to emphasize his determination. Concerned, Mama Zhang searched for him, realizing her son's unwavering spirit. She eventually supported his dream and helped him explore training options. Zhang's journey led him to Shanghai Theatre Academy, where he enrolled in the music performance major. Amid stiff competition, he stood out in exams, ranking 4th among 14 applicants. This determination and Mama Zhang's eventual support paved the way for Zhang's enrollment in the academy. A mother's sacrifice. My mom always says I helped her when in fact she is the one who helped me. We sold our house and my mother quit her job because of me. She was a director-level civil servant, so back then we were doing quite well. It was a secure job. But because of me, she decided to leave all that behind. She took a plunge into the business market in Shenzhen and stayed in shared accommodation. Places like bunk bed dormitories and stairwells. She worked hard until she got enough to rent her own room and slowly expanded that to 4 rooms. She eventually moved back into the city. Whenever we fight or I make her sad, she has never blamed me for how her life turned out and is always my pillar of strength. Even now she is still saving money just in case my career ends suddenly. She has always been my shining light, he revealed. Her sacrifices seem to have paid off when he landed the biggest role of his career in a Chinese BL. Word of Honor. In 2021, Zhang co-starred alongside Gong Jun in the wuxia drama series Word of Honor, an adaptation of Priest's BL novel Tianyu. Portraying Zhou Zishu, an elite leader seeking a fresh start, Zhang's character encounters the enigmatic martial arts master Wen Qixing. The two embark on a transformative journey, discovering a profound connection. Word of Honor gained widespread popularity both within China and internationally, especially following its availability on Netflix. The series' first episode garnered over 8.7 million views on YouTube, propelling its male leads, Gong Jun and Zhang, into the spotlight as sudden sensations. The scandal. In August 2021, photos emerged of Zhang at controversial Japanese shrines, including Yasukuni Shrine and Nogi Shrine, where imperial Japanese military officers are honored, sparking outrage in China. Zhang also took a photo with Dewey Sukarno, mislabeled as a right-wing anti-Chinese politician. Zhang apologized for his actions, expressing regret for the harm caused. The China Association of Performing Arts, comprising industry members, called for a boycott of Zhang due to the photos. The aftermath of the incident escalated rapidly. Brands severed contracts with him. The movie-formed police unit terminated its relationship, considering removing his scenes. The China Association of Performing Arts boycotted Zhang, halting his live performances. Weibo closed his account of 18M+ followers, citing harm to national sentiment. Zhang's songs were removed from music platforms. He was removed from the cast of Word of Honor, which was taken down from Youku. His scenes in Nirvana and Fire were deleted. Demon Girl was removed from LE.com due to his lead role. International fans found his songs unplayable on Spotify. Variety shows edited or blurred him out. This response resembled aspects of cancel culture, with substantial consequences affecting Zhang's career across multiple platforms. Even after his apology and legal appeals, his whole career in China went down the drain. His relationship with Gong Jun. On April 21, 2022, Zhehan posted a handwritten letter thanking the family and friends who believed and supported him throughout the ordeal. He also thanked genuine fans of Word of Honor, but drew the line against rabid couple, CP, fans who shipped him with Gong Jun. Zhehan stated that they have not been in contact since June 2021. In the letter, he laid out 3 points allegedly addressing his relationship with Gong Jun. First, regarding my former colleague, our interactions were limited to the filming of the drama. Beyond the required collaboration on set, we haven't communicated privately. Since June 2021, there has been no contact whatsoever. 2. From August of last year, endorsements linked to me from the other party appeared frequently. At that time, I lacked the power to intervene. Whether there are underlying truths to these anomalies, time will unveil. 3. I have faith in everyone's goodwill and discernment. I request that those reading this letter uphold basic common sense and not speculate without grounds. This surprised many people who thought the two had become very close while filming the drama. Zhang's outrage could have been due to the fact that Gong Jun never reached out or defended him against the cyber violence. More controversy. To compound his downfall, online users delved into his past, unearthing further controversial incidents. One picture depicted Zhehan seemingly making a Nazi salute in front of the Yuadai Martyrs Memorial Hall in Nanjing, while another showed a card displaying Japan's divisive Rising Sun flag. The so-called Nazi salute turned out to be a pose mimicking his co-star's action from his 2019 film Brother. Zhehan's intention was misconstrued in a Weibo post where he referenced the movie. Additionally, Zhehan was captured pinching a mermaid sculpture's nipples, an action labeled as obscene, and sitting on the tomb of courtesan Su Xiaoxiao from the southern Qi dynasty, inciting accusations of disrespect. Further allegations arose, suggesting inappropriate behavior during the filming of the variety show Everybody Stand By. After a passionate scene with actress Huang Zitao, remarks like "I want to kiss" and "that kind of beastly desire has come up" reportedly made her uncomfortable. Even collaborators weighed in, asserting that Zhehan and his team posed challenges, exhibited inadequate results, and displayed arrogance. His reputation suffered a severe blow. A downward spiral. Because of these fabricated falsehoods, I started doubting myself, living in this kind of fear and afraid to go outside. My mother has often expressed her feelings of helplessness, asking, "What can I possibly do?" She's even mentioned things like, "Should I consider jumping from this building? Is it only in death that I can demonstrate my innocence?" At times, I find myself grappling with similar thoughts, wondering if it would take my own demise, if I were to metaphorically expose my heart, to convince everyone that my intentions are genuine. These moments reflect a profound self-doubt that I struggle with. Additionally, I've witnessed a distressing situation where people sent funeral wreaths to the tea shop. Moreover, I've come across disturbing online content where my image has been manipulated posthumously, accompanied by hurtful words directed not only at me but also at my parents, he admitted. Life now. Despite facing cancellation and having his social media accounts deleted multiple times, Zhang Zhehan remains resilient. He engaged in various efforts to restore his public image, including legal actions and a public interview in 2022. He embarked on a new path as a singer-songwriter, making a remarkable comeback in 2022 with 2 number-1 singles on iTunes. He released several successful songs under the albums Deep Blue and Datura EP. Celebrating his 32nd birthday, he held successful concerts in Thailand. His enduring popularity is evident from his album's impressive pre-order sales. Liu Yuning's 10-year journey from an ordinary person to a grassroots internet celebrity, singer, and actor is marked by unparalleled challenges and personal growth. Despite his transformative success, his life both before and after fame has been characterized by tragedy and difficulty. Poverty. Liu Yuning faced adversity from a young age, losing his father at 4 and being raised by his grandparents while his mother worked. Growing up in poverty, the family shared sleeping quarters on the floor around the fireplace. His grandmother's later death left him relying on his ailing grandfather. Despite the challenges, Yuning's childhood fascination with music persisted. As a child, Yuning had always been intrigued by music and wanted to learn, however, he couldn't afford to take lessons with the little income of the family. When he approached his uncle with a request to learn music, he received an apologetic response. Undeterred, Yuning made the decision to support himself and pursue his musical passion. Following his graduation from culinary school, Yuning engaged in various odd jobs to make ends meet. From distributing flyers to waiting tables and working as a chef, he tirelessly worked to sustain himself. Demonstrating his unwavering commitment, Yuning allocated a significant portion of his first month's paycheck, 180 renminbi out of 200 renminbi, to purchase a guitar. In the restaurant's supply room during breaks, Yuning played the guitar, nourishing his passion for music amid the struggle for food. Willing to work as a singer for bars and hot pot restaurants, he was undeterred even if unpaid, relying solely on customers' tips. Reflecting on his journey to fame, he remarked, "I was really poor. When I was at my poorest, I had 2 yuan in my pocket and ate only 1 meal a day. During lunch breaks, instead of joining others to eat, I would claim not to be hungry. I'd find an empty spot for 40 minutes, pretending I'd already eaten, just because I didn't have the money." The perseverance and resilience during these challenging moments laid the foundation for Yuning's eventual success in the music industry. Failed marriage. He thought he had found true love and even got married in 2012. Unfortunately, things didn't work out and he was divorced a year later. He was forced to come clean about the marriage when a blogger unearthed information about the matter. Although he had admitted that he had a former girlfriend who broke up with him because he was too poor, it's unclear if this ex-wife is the same person. The blogger also released a photo of his ex-wife and claimed that the ex-couple had a daughter. Reacting promptly, the 33-year-old took to social media to confront the issue. He scolded the blogger for thrusting his ex, with whom he had no contact, into the public eye. Liu Yuning candidly admitted, "First of all, I, Liu Yuning, was once married and, of course, divorced. I have no children." While not actively concealing his marital history, he deemed it unnecessary to bring up. Confirming zero contact with his ex-wife since their separation, he expressed sincere apologies to her and her family for the public exposure and pledging to use the law to defend his rights in the future. Addressing bashers and anti-fans with frustration, he asserted they could come at him, but harming a regular person and her young child was unacceptable. He vehemently stated, "You can do anything to me, but what you can't do is take a photo of a regular person and her child who's still a minor and put it on the internet. They are living their own lives with their child. I cannot just because I'm a public figure inconvenience them. The people who know them, the people around them surely also know her child. Whoever did this is a monster." Despite the challenges, many applauded how Liu Yuning addressed the situation, underscoring the harsh realities and disadvantages of being a celebrity. Long road to fame. Unlike many stars today who are getting into the entertainment circle in their teens, Yuning didn't have that opportunity. He actually gained fame in 2016 as part of a singing group. At the age of 20, Liu Yuning auditioned for the show Superboy but failed to make the cut to be a part of the official lineup to compete. Since he didn't have enough money to participate in various audition activities, he recorded videos and recommended himself on various platforms. He said, "Whenever there is any kind of variety shows, people say that they have given up a lot for music and how family members sacrifice to fund them." Yuning couldn't relate to those sentiments. He said, "I don't have any resources. If I had, why would I have made my debut at the age of 30? For years after establishing the band Modern Brothers with Ajwa and Defei, Liu Yuning faced challenges as two members left due to financial struggles. Despite the setbacks, Ajwa and Defei remained, enduring difficult years together. Eventually, Ajwa and Defei withdrew from live performances to focus on their family business but remained connected with Yuning for personal and business matters. Modern Brothers gained popularity through live performances on YY, transitioning from indoor to performing outside, setting up their stand in front of a restaurant on a street in Liu Yuning's hometown. In 2018, their success surged on Douyin's platform, particularly with the cover of Tell the Truth, propelling Yuning to collaborate with both local and international artists such as Ali Murs, Corsac, and Far East Movement. From internet streaming and street performing, Liu Yuning transformed into a rising star in the Chinese entertainment scene, being called ugly. His steady rise in the acting world means more eyes on his work, and while that's a great thing most of the time, it has also opened the door to a lot of hate. Netizens often mock his appearance because he doesn't have the idol look most lead actors have. He has commented on all the hate saying, "I get a bit upset when people keep saying I'm ugly, but how can I be less ugly? I'm the type of person who tries to find a solution if someone criticizes me. But what am I supposed to do about my ugliness? Do cosmetics? I don't think it's to that extent. People said I have bad posture, so I really hired a trainer to start working out and fix my posture. But I think if the character is charming, the audience will overlook appearances to an extent. So I need to shape my character well, so the audience can accept it, because there is nothing I can do." Even though he has been in the drama circle for a few years now and people are used to his visuals, the hate continues. Just a few days ago, he trended on Weibo after CNETs used AI to swap Liu Yuning's face with other actors because according to them he is not handsome enough for the role. Comments like even the supporting actors are more handsome than the main and he's really unattractive. He shouldn't be an actor, we're flying around. After catching wind of the cyberbullying, he replied graciously with, "Every person has their own Ning Yuanzhou in mind. A character's charm is the effort of an actor. Thank you for discussing about Ning Yuanzhou, it makes me happy. On behalf of Ning Yuanzhou, thank you and please support." He says he doesn't mind being talked about because bad publicity is better than no publicity at all. His acting has been criticized. Because Yuning didn't get formal training before becoming an actor, he is often looked down upon and passed over for more qualified actors. Some netizens even went as far as saying he should only get supporting roles because his abilities and visuals are not male lead material. These sentiments were also voiced when he was cast in the recently aired A Journey to Love. Despite being a well-financed project with a strong production team, there are speculations that Liu Shishir is being used to help promote Yuning since he is a lesser-known actor. Shishir's own fans didn't consider him to be in the same league as Shishir. Shishir's past co-stars were all A-list caliber. What happened now? Not trying to say Liu Yuning isn't good, but the difference between her past and current co-star is just too great, viewers complained. When asked about the criticism, he had this to say: "During the filming of A Journey to Love, I faced a lot of criticism and mockery from people who doubted my suitability for the role. While it initially bothered me, I came to embrace it as a positive challenge. I welcome low expectations, as it allows me room to exceed them. Even if people think I'll fail, I hope to surprise them with my performance in the show. I believe that if there's even a small shining moment, it will be enough to make people reconsider their opinions. I'm determined to prove the skeptics wrong and make even my critics watch the drama." In a live broadcast, he shared his past struggles, noting that people once said he wasn't worthy to be a singer. Now, his voice features in the soundtracks of many hit dramas. Addressing doubts about his acting, Yuning stated, "Since I chose to be an actor, I have to do it well, work hard, and hope that one day I'll be recognized." He asked for 5 more years to see if his identity as an actor would be as recognized as he is as a singer. Yuning has taken steps to improve, hiring an acting teacher for this purpose. Despite facing numerous challenges, he has emerged as one of China's fastest rising stars, gaining fame for his hit original soundtracks in popular dramas like Love Between Fairy and Devil, The Long Ballad, Word of Honor, Love and Redemption, You Are My Glory, and more. Beyond his musical success, his acting prowess in The Long Ballad propelled him to drama stardom, and he has also made notable appearances in dramas such as Hot-Blooded Youth, Heroes, and The Legend of Anil. Currently, he is enjoying unparalleled success with the ongoing drama A Journey to Love, which recently achieved a remarkable heat index of 10,000 on iQIYI. This makes it the 2023 iQIYI drama with the highest first-day heat index, surpassing Destined, and it opened with a stellar 7.5 score on Douban, rated by over 34,000 users. His character in the series is topping various rankings, adding to his growing list of achievements.
Jianci's 16-year journey in entertainment highlights his talent and resilience. Starting at 16 with a national championship in Latin dance, he gained fame. With success in hosting and acting, notably in dramas like Under the Skin and Lost You Forever, his versatility shines. However, his life hasn't always followed a smooth trajectory. Here are some tragic details about Jianci. Separated from his parents at a young age. Jianci has always had a talent for dancing, which began when he was just 3 years old. Seeing his potential, his mother wanted to send him to Beijing Dance Academy to nurture his talent. He says, "Well, when I was 10 years old, my mother wanted to send me to Beijing. But I was too young at that time. I came to Beijing and took a dance exam. The teacher said I was too young and couldn't get in because they only recruit children after the age of 12. Then 2 years later, I graduated from elementary school and went to the academy again and passed the exam directly. This meant moving to Beijing alone. I was so scared, but it was an incredible thing. It feels like going to an alien planet, very, very far away. I had always been a mama's boy, the kind where I have to stick to my mom all the time, so when I arrived in Beijing, I felt independent instantly. It was a huge challenge at that time. Just looking at my dad's back as he walked away from the school gate, it seemed like I had grown up. I didn't even cry when I was homesick. Despite initial challenges, I adapted quickly to my new surroundings, surprising even myself with how well I coped. Failed boy band dreams. Jianci began his journey in professional ballroom dance at the academy. In 2006, he made waves in the dance scene by clinching first place in the Taoli Cup national dance competition for the Latin group under 16 category. His success continued with first place in the National Dance Sport Championships. He also made a mark internationally, securing third place in Latin and fourth place in Modern at the World Grand Prix Finals in Shanghai. Following his dance triumphs, Jianci embarked on a new chapter as one of the trainees for Taihe Rai Music's project group in 2007. Out of thousands of hopefuls nationwide, only around 20 were selected as candidate members after rigorous auditions. After years of training, Jianci emerged as one of the final 5 candidates chosen through a talent show on Dragon TV. In 2009, he debuted as a member of the boy group MIC. Their first album, V, released in 2011, showcased their hip-hop style with American influences, winning them several awards for their singing and dancing skills. However, due to the impact of the Korean wave, the market at that time preferred Korean-style idols, which was quite different from MIC's American-style positioning, thus the boy band wasn't well received. As a result, the group flopped and disbanded. Delayed fame. Jianci's acting journey began with a struggle for recognition. In 2007, he seized a crucial opportunity to study sports dance at Beijing Sport University, which led him to Taihe Wheatfield's Ma Tuana project. Undergoing intense semi-military training, his initial aim for a career in sports dance shifted when the company noticed his acting potential. In April 2008, he transitioned to film and television, starring in Lost Indulgence alongside Karen Mok and Zhang Zhiwei. Despite the star-studded cast, the drama failed to leave a significant mark. 7 years later, in January 2015, Tan starred in his first drama Hua Yang Jiang Hu. He followed that up with a few more supporting roles. In 2018, he joined the acting competition show I Am the Actor and impressed producer Shu Qi, who called him a little fresh meat with exceptional skills. Tan was deeply moved by Shu Qi's recognition, shedding tears on the spot. His journey continued with roles in Never Gone, Over the Sea I Come to You, and Adoring in 2019, followed by Winter Begonia in 2020, where he portrayed an opera singer. However, it wasn't until 2022, with his role in the drama Under the Skin, that his star began to rise. His breakthrough came in 2023 with Lost You Forever, earning him widespread acclaim and numerous awards. Reflecting on his rise to stardom, Tan remarked, "In the beginning, I chased after work, but now the work is chasing after me. I don't know if this is my peak, but I'll always give my best to serve my audience, whether it's through singing, acting, or variety shows." Criticism from fans. As Tan Jianci's fame grew, so did the scrutiny. While his talent remains indisputable, some online users couldn't resist commenting on his height, standing at 1.74 centimeters. While this height might be considered decent by many, in an industry dominated by towering figures, it's perceived as falling short of the expected standard. The debate about his height began when some Lost You Forever novel readers thought he wasn't fit to play Song Liu in Lost You Forever because his height doesn't match with what they imagined the character would look like. After that, he was also photographed stepping onto a board so that his height would match his co-actor in his recent movie, I Miss You. He replied to the naysayers by saying, "I have never lost any opportunity because of my height." When his name is announced for new projects, Tan Jianci says he has gotten used to these negative voices. He also knows what they often focus on. They say I'm not tall enough, they say I'm short, right? Tan Jianci smiled, "I don't feel anything anymore." But one thing he is sure about is that he has been rejected for many things and lost opportunities because of many things, but he has never lost opportunities because of his height. I have also asked similar questions to producers. I said it seems that everyone is not satisfied with my height. Am I not suitable for this character? But the producers told me not to think about this issue because actors should only focus on taking care of their acting skills. Be good at your acting, you can't change your height. If we had an issue with your height, we wouldn't have chosen you for the role in the first place. After choosing you, we will help you meet the standard in terms of shooting techniques or other objective conditions. There is no need to consider anything else. Criticism from industry peers. In 2020, Youkuku and Dragon TV came out with a male boy band survival show featuring 21 male artists of various ages called Shine Super Brothers. Tan Jianci was among the contestants. Disgraced actress Sheng Shuang and veteran dancer Jin Xing served as mentors. In one episode, Jin Xing and Zheng Song were discussing the contestants' looks, and the two ended up making snide comments about Tan Jianci's face, saying although at first glance he is really handsome, but the more you look at him the more unattractive he becomes. He later responded to their comments. Them saying that with my looks I can't become popular, to me it's not too big a blow because these kinds of words I have long heard many times already. Previously when I went for auditions I would often hear such things like your teeth or your nose are not appealing. I have been rejected for those very reasons. I'm not someone who really cares about visuals. If you see my dramas you will see I'm not very handsome, although I can be if the character demands it. But I always feel like once I rely on visual to become known to the public, relying on my visuals to prove myself, that's when I failed. I work hard to let my talent shine, everything else, including handsomeness, is just a bonus. Of course no one knows just how much Tan Jianci has struggled and persevered more than the man himself. He often refers to himself as a light boat which has passed through 10,000 beautiful mountains. This quote conveys resilience, portraying life's challenges as represented by the 10,000 mountains, and viewing them as part of the beautiful landscape or experiences gained along the journey.
Zhao Liying is celebrated for her acting, presence, and charm. Growing up in the countryside without a prominent background, her unwavering determination and hard work have propelled her from a runner to a renowned star. However, her journey has been marked by both tragedy and triumph. Zhao Liying was born on October 16, 1987, in Langfang City, Hebei Province, to a farming family. Reflecting on her upbringing, she shared, "I was born in a rural area, and my ancestors have been farmers for generations. Rural life honed my strong will and shaped my tenacious personality." As a child, Zhao Liying wasn't playing like other kids. Instead, she was working on the farm. "With small arms and legs, I followed the adults to harvest wheat, break corn, pick cotton, or chop wood with my grandfather." Despite the financial challenges, her parents managed to buy a TV, which sparked her dream of becoming an actress. "Whenever I wanted to watch a TV series, my younger brother never got a turn to watch cartoons." But Zhao Liying was realistic about her dream. "I knew that, given my rural background and average grades, this was just an unrealistic dream for me," she admitted. After junior high, she chose a flight attendant program, thinking, it would be nice to be a stewardess, wearing makeup every day and traveling the world with a suitcase. But when she learned that being a flight attendant required a bachelor's degree, which her family couldn't afford, she decided to take matters into her own hands. "I didn't want to exchange my parents' hard-earned money for my future," she explained. Her early jobs were far from glamorous. "I distributed flyers, promoted beauty cards, sold clothes, worked as a clerk, waiter, cashier, and even greeted guests." One incident left a lasting impression. "When I was a waiter in a restaurant, I accidentally served the wrong dish and was scolded by a customer for more than an hour. That was the moment I realized that being a service staff was not only low-paid but also full of anger." Unable to bear the humiliation, Zhao Liying quit and took a job in sales near her home. "That job gave me the opportunity to touch a computer every day," she noted, a small detail that would soon become significant in her life. At 19, she moved to Beijing with dreams of becoming an actress, despite her modest background. "I thought to myself, don't let me seize the opportunity, because if I do, I'll grab it desperately," she recalled. Her perseverance paid off in 2006 when she won the Yahoo Star Search contest, catching the eye of renowned director Feng Xiaojiang. But the road to success was long. For 7 years, Zhao Liying toiled in the entertainment industry, mostly as a background actor. "Life was not easy," she admitted. "I only rested 3 days a year." She took on countless minor roles, often unrecognized by the audience. "I knew I had to make a name for myself. So I went to Hengdian, where I started as the most inconspicuous extra. Getting scolded was just part of the job." Despite the harsh criticism, her love for acting never wavered. "Even if I only had 2 or 3 lines, I would immerse myself in the character. I wanted to understand their world, their emotions, even if no one else noticed." During one night shoot, she had to sleep on rocks because there was no accommodation. "My fellow cast members laughed and said, 'Even the rocks bully you,'" Zhao Liying recalled. "At that time, I was just a small supporting actress. All I could do was smile and endure the ridicule." Without formal acting training, Zhao Liying often faced harsh criticism. "There were times when the director would yell at me, saying my acting was very bad. It was humiliating, but I kept going," she said. In an industry full of well-connected individuals, she knew she had to work harder than anyone else. "I was willing to take on any small role to polish my acting skills and gain exposure," she explained. "The rejection was the hardest part. Some directors told me my face was too round, my chin too short, or that my mouth looked like a pig's mouth," she painfully recalled. Once, a crew even forgot her on a mountain after a night shoot. "I slept alone on that mountain," she said, a stark reminder of the isolation she endured. But her determination and toughness eventually caught the attention of directors, setting the stage for the success that was to come. Zhao Liying's persistence finally paid off in 2011 when she caught the public's attention with her role as Qing'er in New My Fair Princess. But it was the 2013 drama Legend of Lu Xun that truly changed her life. "That role changed everything for me," Zhao Liying reflected. "It gave me the confidence to keep pushing forward." Her breakthrough came in 2015 with the hit TV series The Journey of Flower, which catapulted her to stardom. "I never expected such a reaction," she admitted. "Suddenly, everyone knew my name, and it was overwhelming." The drama not only solidified her status as a leading actress but also gained international acclaim, extending her influence beyond China. Her role in The Journey of Flower earned her the Best Actress award at the 6th Macau International Television Festival and the Favorite Actress award at the 28th China TV Golden Eagle Awards. "I felt like I was on a roll," she said. "My TV series kept setting new ratings records." By 2017, her costume drama The Story of Chu Qiao had a staggering 45.79 billion views, cementing her status as a top-tier actress. Although the show later faced criticism for its pacing and suspected fake viewership numbers, none of this dimmed Zhao Liying's rising star. Despite her success, Zhao Liying continues to face negative comments about her background. Many anti-fans harass her about coming from a poor village, leading Zhao Liying to respond, "So what if I came from a village?" Her critics also seize every chance to highlight her high school education, questioning her literacy. Recently, with the legend of Xinli gaining attention, Zhao Liying faced backlash for making 3 typos in her Weibo posts within a week. On March 18th, she used the wrong character, made a handwritten error on March 21st, and another typo on March 24th. Critics called her illiterate. Zhao Liying, however, remains focused on her work. "I don't waste time defending myself," she remarked. "I let my work speak for itself." Her dedication is evident in her tireless efforts on set. Knowing she has no backer, Zhao Liying often spends 3/4 of the year filming and rarely uses a body double for action scenes. "I've been dragged on hot sand by wires, covered in bruises," she said, recalling some of her more demanding roles. On the set of The Monkey King 3, she injured her back, leaving a visible bone protrusion that she covered with a temporary tattoo. "I fell off a horse during filming and still have a hard bump on my back that won't go away," she added. Even when doctors advised her to rest, Zhao Liying kept working. "When I was filming The Legend of Xinli, I had a back injury," she shared. "But I still did all the wire work and fight scenes myself. I wanted those scenes to be as clean and neat as possible." Zhao Liying's commitment often comes at a cost. During filming for The Palace, a harness caused a spine injury, requiring frequent breaks. In Female Prime Minister, she insisted on filming a wall-scaling scene and injured her waist again. "Not only the back of my head has a blood clot, my heart is weak," she said. "Several bones in my body are also injured, and there are complications in my liver." Despite these challenges, Zhao Liying continues to push forward, letting her work and dedication shine through. Zhao Liying and Feng Xiaofeng's relationship was a roller coaster that intrigued many. The couple, who met on the set of The Monkey King 3 in 2016, quickly went from keeping their romance under wraps to a whirlwind marriage in 2018. Zhao Liying was spotted with a baby bump that September, and just a month later, they tied the knot. Despite their seemingly happy start, cracks began to show. Rumors of Feng Xiaofeng's affair circulated in 2019, which he vehemently denied, even threatening legal action. They continued to share their lives on social media and appeared together on shows, but things weren't as perfect as they seemed. Feng openly admitted on Adventure Life 2 that he questioned whether Zhao Liying married him out of love or just to be married. "Sometimes, I would ask her, 'Did you really like me and want to marry me? Or did you just like the feeling of dating and got married with me for the sake of getting married?'" He shared. The host even pointed out that Feng wasn't wearing a wedding ring, to which he responded, "I still don't have a wedding ring yet, because my wife has not given me one." As their careers took them further apart, so did their relationship. Zhao Liying and Feng Xiaofeng announced their divorce in 2021, citing the strain of being apart more often than together. Rumors also suggested that tension with Feng's mother played a significant role. It was said she pressured Zhao Liying to quit her career and have more children, which didn't sit well with the actress. Zhao Liying reportedly felt that her mother-in-law was crossing boundaries, leading to disagreements that eventually contributed to the divorce. Despite the personal turmoil, Zhao Liying continued to thrive professionally. "Acting is my passion," she stated. "It's what I love to do, and I'll keep doing it as long as I can." Zhao Liying has solidified her status as China's queen of ratings, with 15 of her dramas amassing over 200 billion views online. She holds the record for the highest combined drama viewership among Chinese artists, making her the first in history to achieve this milestone. Her drama The Journey of Flower was the first to surpass 20 billion views online. Noble Aspirations garnered over 23 billion views, setting a record for Chinese dramas at the time. When Rookie Agent Rouge reached 110 billion combined views, Zhao became the most-watched Chinese actor. Her drama The Story of Minglan also topped television ratings and received critical acclaim. CCTV has recognized her as the actress with the most hit dramas, solidifying her position as the artist with the highest drama views. Zhao Liying's rise from a rural background to top actress is truly inspiring. "I've always believed that my destiny is in my own hands," she said. "As long as I keep improving, I'll continue to stand out." She has moved past early criticisms of her low education and big round face to become a celebrated heroine and ratings queen. "It's gratifying," she admitted, "but I don't let it go to my head." Her journey proves that with perseverance, authenticity, and hard work, even the humblest beginnings can lead to remarkable success. At 48, Zhang Songwen became a star, defying the idea of quick success. With hits like The Bad Kids and The Knockout, he's proven his talent. But his journey wasn't easy. From selling drinks to waiting tables, he worked hard for his dreams. Now he's an inspiration for late bloomers everywhere. Zhang's journey started with hardship. Born in Shaoguan, Guangdong, in 1976, his early years were far from easy. Let me tell you something I've never told reporters, he begins. When I was little, my parents couldn't care for me, so they sent me to live with an old lady in the countryside. It was there, sitting in a movie theater with Uncle Liu, that Zhang's love for movies began. I watched The Handcuffed Passenger over and over, he recalls. But tragedy struck early in his life. My mom was a Chinese medicine doctor, always busy, he explains. I was often with neighbors. When he was 13, his mother fell ill with cancer. We spent everything trying to save her, he says sadly. But despite their efforts, she passed away when he was just 14. Mother's Day is especially hard for Zhang, a reminder of his loss. I can't celebrate, he admits. It's too painful. Despite his success, Zhang's heart still aches for his mother's approval. But he finds comfort in the belief that she watches over him. She is still with me, he says with a hint of peace. After graduating from vocational high school, Zhang held various jobs to make a living. Printing calendars in a factory, washing dishes at a food stall, installing air conditioners, and washing bottles in a soda factory. Later, he became a tour guide, a job he excelled at for 5 years. His dedication and professionalism earned him the title of Best Tour Guide in Guangdong Province and a monthly salary of up to 20,000 yuan, a significant amount at the time. When he was 24, a fellow tour guide asked him, "What's your dream?" Zhang replied, "My dream is to make money, get married, and have children." The girl responded, "A dream should be something that interests you the most and can become your job." Zhang admitted, "That's impossible. My dream is to make movies, but movies are too far away from me." The girl then said, "How is it impossible? You can go to the Beijing Film Academy." Zhang Yimou started studying film at the age of 28. Her words struck him like a bolt of lightning. It was the first time someone had articulated his dream for him and mentioned a place like the Beijing Film Academy. That afternoon, he resigned from his job and bought a plane ticket to Beijing, worried that after a good night's sleep, his dream would slip away forever. He didn't tell anyone he was resigning to avoid being talked out of it. In 1999, Zhang went to the Beijing Film Academy's directing department for consultation but learned they were not recruiting students that year. However, the acting department next door was accepting students. Since directing and acting are closely related, Zhang immediately signed up for the acting program. He tried his best to take courses in different majors, even attending makeup classes. At 25, he was the oldest student in his class, earning the nickname Old Ghost. He was ridiculed by his classmates for his non-standard Mandarin. Determined to overcome this, Zhang practiced pronunciation every night in the corner of the playground, under the pressure of potentially being expelled if he did not master the language within 4 months. During his 2 years at BFA, he was never selected by any of the many production crews that visited the school to scout talent. After graduating from BFA, Zhang stayed there for 8 years as the assistant teacher. Initially, Zhang was being paid 1,900 yuan per month, while his rent was 2,500 yuan, forcing him to borrow money to cover living expenses. He lived in a modest house just outside Beijing, relying on second-hand furniture from friends. To save money, he bought discounted vegetables late at night. Despite these struggles, Zhang never lost sight of his dream, reminding himself of the significant sacrifice he made by leaving a high-paying job for acting. People began to approach him for guidance in acting. He left the academy to open a performance studio, offering tailored one-on-one guidance to aspiring actors. Despite his evident talent, Zhang faced numerous rejections due to his unconventional appearance. He began his career with small roles and often worked as an actor's performance coach. Over the years, he experienced more than 800 rejections, primarily because of comments about his height and looks. He once recalled introducing himself to a director, who bluntly said, "Just by looking at your appearance, you can't be an actor. You look a bit like a dwarf, and your brain is like an ape man." Zhang calmly asked if the director could at least keep his photos, but the director rejected him again, saying, "You can't be an actor. There's no point in leaving your photos." His first significant break came in 2005 with the TV series Qinglong Guaisu. Initially brought in as an acting coach, he eventually secured a starring role. Early roles like those in Empress Feng of the Northern Wei Dynasty in 2006 and The Legend of Yang Guifei in 2010 were minor, but they provided him with valuable film experience. However, his career remained stagnant for years, with only occasional roles, such as in the 2013 film Fake Fiction. Financial struggles plagued him throughout his 40s as he struggled to secure significant roles. Despite setbacks, under his agent, Zhao Yuda's guidance led to notable roles in films like End of Summer in 2018 and The Shadow Play in 2019, which earned industry recognition. However, Zhao suffered a heart attack and died in Zhang's home in the same year. His death deeply affected Zhang. Even after the success of The Bad Kids in 2020, financial difficulties persisted. It wasn't until the critical acclaim of The Knockout in 2023 that Zhang's fortunes changed. The project brought him widespread recognition and showcased his exceptional acting abilities. When asked about his income after the success of The Knockout, Zhang mentioned a significant increase, with his tax rebate alone exceeding 1 million yuan. He humorously noted that his newfound popularity had finally started to improve his financial situation. Zhang doesn't believe he has natural talent. He insists that his ability to deliver outstanding performances stems from hard work and life experience. "I don't know about others, but I rely on real life," he says with conviction. His dedication to his craft is evident in his portrayal of Zhu Yongping in The Bad Kids. When Zhu mourns the loss of his daughter, Zhang didn't just act, he immersed himself in the character's agony. In order to present the grief and sorrow of the father, Zhang starved himself for 3 days and did not sleep. Finally, he was able to show the state of being exhausted and on the verge of collapse. When acting, Zhang thought about his late mother and transferred this feeling to the character's emotion to his daughter, thus enriching the character's passion with his own true sentiments. Reflecting on his approach, Zhang explains, "I've done a lot for my dreams." For The Shadow Play, he talked about the crazy things he did to experience the role, gaining 30 kilograms, hiding his identity and working in a small city's construction committee for half a month, lying on an autopsy bed on the upper floor of a pool soaking hundreds of corpses for 4.5 hours of filming, wearing the character's clothes outside the play, using the props of the crew, waking up every day to see his wedding photos with Song Jiai, and constantly hypnotizing himself into. Director Tang. To him, this isn't just method acting, it's fulfilling a duty to his craft. He believes in being genuine, in bringing real emotions to the screen. Unlike many in the industry, Zhang shies away from the public eye. When approached for a variety show, he hesitated, uncomfortable with the idea of exposing his private life. "I'm not good at variety shows," he admitted. "I'll feel uneasy showing my shortcomings." The producer respected his wishes, understanding his need for privacy. Offset, Zhang is a recluse, preferring the solitude of country living. He rarely grants interviews, explaining, "I don't want to be overexposed." At home, he's a picture of simplicity, washing dishes, making tea, and tending to his dog. He shuns mobile phones, spending hours unplugged to preserve the purity of his character's world. On set, he insists his agent and photographer keep their phones out of sight to avoid distraction. Zhang's aversion to fame may hinder his popularity, but it's a choice he's willing to make. For him, the purity of his craft is paramount, and he'll go to great lengths to protect it. Zhang Songwen's recent comments on not owning a house by 40 have sparked conversations about his life and career. In 2020, he shared on social media that buying a home in his hometown was out of reach. A year later, at the premiere of The Pioneer, a reporter revisited the topic. Zhang, with a smile, responded to the pointed question. "Last year, I said I couldn't afford a house, but I was still happy," he explained. "I hope everyone won't judge me too harshly." When asked if his situation had changed, he replied confidently, "I still haven't bought one, but it's not because I can't. I'm just focused on other things right now." It's clear that success has given him the confidence to prioritize what truly matters to him, even if it's not a traditional marker of achievement like homeownership. Zhang Songwen's story embodies persistence and authenticity. Despite challenges, his commitment to his craft and support from peers led to the recognition he deserved, showcasing the power of talent and determination.
Danny's gentle, introverted nature made him ill-suited for the tough world of entertainment. More than his personality, though, his childhood and personal experiences left him deeply sensitive and in need of love. His close friend, Kenny B, called him the industry's protected species, while cantopop legend Anita Mui affectionately saw him as a younger brother, saying, "I need to protect him." Though Danny was immensely talented, his life was marked by rare joy and frequent hardship. Danny was born into a middle-class family in Hong Kong on September 7, 1958. His father owned a watch shop, and his mother was a traditional housewife. On the surface, his childhood seemed like it would be a happy one, but the family dynamic was unusual. Danny's father had 2 wives, his first wife, who was legally recognized, and his second wife, Danny's mother, who was considered a mistress under Hong Kong law. Though Danny technically had 3 older brothers, 1 older sister and a younger brother, they were all half-siblings from his father's first marriage.
Danny's mother only had him, so he grew up mostly alone, living separately with her and rarely seeing his siblings. Despite the loneliness, Danny's mother, Mrs. Chan, was loving and deeply protective of him, her only child. She made sure he received a top education, sending him to prestigious schools. After high school, Danny was offered the chance to study in Nevada, USA. However, he struggled to adapt to life overseas and returned to Hong Kong after just 6 months. Once back, he enrolled in a prestigious international school but soon left, as it was clear music was his true passion. In the mid-1970s, with the rise of the electric keyboard, Danny taught himself to play and began composing his own music. His first piece was a song he wrote as a birthday gift for a high school friend. Although the sheet music was eventually lost, marking the song's absence from his official music catalog, his journey as a musician had already started. Danny's journey in music began officially in 1977, when he won first place in a songwriting contest and took home the top prize in a Hong Kong electronic keyboard competition. His career took off, and by 1979 he released his debut album, Tears Cried for You, which made him an overnight sensation. Young people all over Hong Kong adored him, and by 21, Danny was already a household name. But despite his fame, he remained down to earth and revealed that music was his outlet. Whenever I feel unhappy, I lock myself in a room, take my emotions, and express them through creating a song. Danny's career was on a smooth path from the start. He became famous quickly in the late 70s, achieving both popularity and financial success early in life. However, the one thing he never truly came to terms with was the constant pressure from the media and the public. In the mid-1980s, as his friend and fellow artist Leslie Cheung began to rise in popularity, the media started comparing the two constantly. This comparison bothered Danny. In an interview, he told the author Huang Zitao, "I hate it when people ask me, Leslie Cheung is so popular now, how do you feel about that? What do they expect me to feel? Am I supposed to be jealous? Am I supposed to think about how to surpass him? We were once managed by the same person, and I saw firsthand how he overcame struggles to achieve his success. I can only be happy for him." The media often belittled and demeaned Danny Chan, highlighting a double standard in how he was treated compared to his peers. In the music industry, other stars earned respectful nicknames. Anita Mui became Big Sister Mui, Leslie Cheung was affectionately called Gor Gor or Big Brother, and Alan Tam, a bit older, was known as Headmaster Tam. But despite Danny being the only songwriter among the three kings and a queen of cantopop, he was never given a special nickname, a subtle way the industry and media overlooked his unique talents. The media's treatment of him was brutal, and the public's speculation about his personal life took a toll on his confidence. In September 1985, Danny was hospitalized for a few days, which triggered a wave of cruel rumors. Some suggested he had contracted AIDS, playing off past speculations about his sexual orientation. Others even claimed he had died. As the rumors spread and became more damaging, Danny eventually appeared in public to set the record straight. But by then, the damage had already been done. In the book, the author Huang Zitao recounts a conversation with Danny during this time. He explained his feelings, saying, "I am very upset, those rumors truly crossed the line. I don't understand why those people had to say those types of things." After a brief silence, Danny added, "It's really difficult being an artist." Huang asked him what had really happened, and Danny shared the truth. "My biggest issue is that I don't have a place to live. A few months ago, a geomancer told me that my house in Happy Valley had bad feng shui, so I planned to move out. But the better houses were too expensive, so I decided to temporarily move back to my father's house. Unfortunately, my ears are way too sensitive. If there's even a little bit of noise, I can't sleep. Not getting enough rest for a period of time makes me moody and puts me in bad spirits." Reflecting on that period, Danny shared, "What's unusual about a person going to get a physical examination? My heart was beating faster than usual, but otherwise I was fine. I'm just someone whose mood gets tense and nervous very easily. It's a personal issue that doesn't involve anyone else, so there's no need to drag innocent people into it." The innocent person Danny referred to was Leslie Cheung. Leslie had made playful comments about Danny during a concert, but the media twisted them, creating a false impression of tension between the two. In reality, Danny and Leslie were close friends, and he was frustrated by how the media distorted things. His godmother, Mrs. So, spoke up for him, saying, "Danny has a serious case of insomnia, just the slightest noise like someone walking in slippers will wake him up. His mother, Mrs. Chan, added, "A musician's ears are very sensitive. We're all trying to help him find a better place to live. He really makes me worry." In 1988, when he met his friend Huang Zitao again, she could tell he was still hurting. Danny admitted, "Unfortunately, I'm a bit foolish and weak. The more people said, the more I withdrew and eventually shut myself off from everyone. It was the worst torture I've ever endured." He confessed that he felt completely alone. Katie Chan wasn't his manager yet, and he felt like he had no one to help or talk to, so he became silent. Despite it all, Danny found a silver lining. "The person who started those rumors seemed to want to chop down the flower and make me disappear from the industry. But I suppose I should thank that person. At least it made me somewhat stronger, even though I'm still not as strong as I need to be." It took him 2 years to regain his confidence, a painful journey but one that helped him grow. Leaving the industry was something he always considered, weighed down by the constant pressures he faced. Just 3 years into his career in the early 80s, Danny considered leaving the industry. But despite the challenges, he stayed. However, after a particularly tough year in 1991, Danny made the decision to retire for good in 1992. He started his farewell tour with 3 concerts in Shanghai in March of that year. During his final show, as he sang his iconic song "What Do I Seek in Life?", the audience stood and clapped to the rhythm. It was an emotional and unforgettable moment for Danny, one he would always remember, "A moment I will never forget for my entire life," he said. His last public performance came a month later, in April 1992, at a special event in Shanghai promoting environmental awareness. This was the final time Danny would appear on stage. On the evening of May 18, 1992, Danny was found unconscious at home and taken to hospital. It was rumored he had taken a lethal cocktail of alcohol and sleeping pills. The singer suffered brain damage and fell into a coma. His mother never left his side, sitting by his bed every day, hoping for a miracle. She would often say, "The reborn Danny will not be the same as before. He will leave all the gossip and unhappiness behind him and live as an ordinary person." I used to tell him to ignore what others said, but he couldn't find the strength to do so. He sank deeper into it. For 17 long months, Mrs. Chan stayed with Danny, whispering words of encouragement in his ear, but sadly, he never woke up. He passed away on October 25, 1993, at just 35 years old. His mother's heartbreak and the pain of those who loved him reflect the immense loss of a bright, sensitive soul who, despite his fame, was too often weighed down by the pressures of the world around him. After Danny passed away, one of his half-brothers summed up his struggles in life. Danny was a man of great sensitivity, always striving for perfection. Even the smallest flaw would weigh heavily on him, and he would brood over it. He spent his life chasing what he wanted, fame and fortune, which he achieved at a young age. But once he had everything, he didn't know what else to pursue. He didn't need anything more, yet he was always afraid that one day he would fall from grace. This worry became a heavy burden on his heart. Danny's love life was another source of ongoing disappointment, one he could never quite escape. Reflecting on it, he admitted with regret, "I've always wanted to truly love someone, but after searching for half my life I've never found that person. Romance always seemed out of reach." In high school, his crushes were unrequited, and even as a star, he struggled to find love, fueling media speculation about his love life, which would weigh on him. In 1982, Danny starred alongside actress Mary Jean Reimer in the movie Encore, a rare venture into acting for him. To promote the film, Danny and Mary Jean appeared together frequently, holding hands and sparking rumors. Danny clarified, "I like her and we get along really well, especially physically. We're very compatible, like Yamaguchi Momo and Miura Tomokazu. But we're not dating. Her personality is a bit shy and she's used to being pampered, while I'm a bit of a chauvinist." After Danny fell into a coma in 1992, Mary Jean tearfully visited him in the hospital and later described their relationship as a youthful infatuation. She said, "The most affectionate we ever were was just holding hands and kissing on the cheek. Our relationship was pure and innocent. I don't think I'll ever have a friendship like that again in my life." Another significant relationship was with Pansy Ho, daughter of Macau casino tycoon Stanley Ho, whom Danny met while filming the 1981 drama Breakthrough. The two were often spotted together, sparking rumors. "We're soulmates," Danny explained, dismissing the gossip. Likewise, Pansy called him her best friend, even comparing their bond to that of a brother and sister. But her father disapproved, reportedly calling Danny just a street performer. In 1991, Pansy had a grand wedding, which Danny attended as a friend, though the media painted him as heartbroken. Years later, Pansy broke with tradition to serve as a pallbearer at Danny's funeral, visibly weeping for her dear friend, showing the depth of their connection despite the challenges they faced. Danny was a true legend, leaving an unforgettable mark on the lives of his friends, family, and countless fans. He'll be deeply missed by all who knew and admired him. Rest in peace, Danny.
These actors have really lived hard lives. Which story made you sad? Let me know in the comments.